illegal to say all the boys in the 90s and the 2000s didn't have a crush on my next guest. When I told them that I'm having you on the show, they were like, what is she doing on a sports show? Now being the CEO of the Pro Panja League.
Sports has always been something that has been on in our house always, especially combat sport. We attended a Panja. This is a sport we felt can catch the fancy of the nation. क्या पंजा खेला जाता है? Professionally खेला जाता है. Every athlete, male, female or specially able, will be paid the same amount according to their rank. As it stands today, we've crossed 1.2 billion views. What is the reason to get into a league, or what is the reason that we should do a league on arm wrestling, and how are we going to be different from the other leagues? Sports is entertainment. You can't shoot everything the same way and expect people to watch it.
What would you say currently is different and working for you, and something that you think will take this league forward for the next 3-4 years as well? Do sponsors now look at it in a better way? Where do you think the maximum viewership is coming from right now?
Our athletes are sons and daughters of the soil.
Now you become like that boss lady, like who sets a benchmark for people.
It's not us that we're promoting. That's not the reason we got into this sport. Every other sport already has a lot of support and a lot of people in it. Started acting when I was 16, 17.
Wow,
I was very young when I started. And I thought
How old were you when you did Mohabbatein?
Mohabbatein was 19.
19.
Yeah, we wanted it to have a lot of sex appeal, very glamorous.
Yeah. What's your goal with this league? Like, where do you see it? Trying to understand who Preeti really is. Well, boys and girls, we have a very interesting personality today, and very quickly, if you go back to the 2000s, it would be illegal to say that all the boys in the 90s and the 2000s didn't have a crush on my next guest. Well, I'm glad to welcome Preet Jhangiani. Thank you so much, Preeti, for being here.
Thank you, Stalin. Thank you.
We've seen you in Mohabbatein, we've seen you in the Nima ads, and a lot of people, when I told them that I'm having you on the show, they were like, what is she doing on a sports show? And that's when I was intrigued to tell them that she's made that switch from being in the entertainment world to now being the CEO of the Pro Panja League, which has finished 2 seasons.
Yes.
Congratulations on that, firstly.
Thank you, thanks.
And we want to know as to how did you come up with this? What's been that inspiration behind Pro Panja League, and how have you guys been going about it?
Since you've spoken about my film work, let me start at the beginning. After, both me and Parveen have been more than 25 years in the film industry.
Yeah.
So obviously the natural step would have been, we started a film production company.
Right.
Swen Entertainment Private Limited was mainly started as a film production company, and we produced our first film and a lot of other films after that, and events and things like that. But sports has always been something that has been on in our house always, especially combat sport. So we started the MMA India show, which is if you see today, is Mumbai's and India's premier podcast for MMA, which is officially accredited to the UFC.
Right.
And that's when we decided to get into the promotion of sport. But whereas MMA was concerned, we felt that it may not have such a large audience, and that it would have a very niche audience in India.
Right.
We attended a Panja, an arm wrestling match, and that's when we decided that this is a sport we felt can catch the fancy of the nation.
Wow.
It has a low financial entry point, so a large number of kids can participate. It has an Indian ethos.
Yeah.
It's a sport that everybody has played in their lifetime, one time or the other.
Absolutely.
So it's easily understandable. It's a sport that kids, women can relate to.
Yeah.
Plus, it was a sport, one of the only sports that has male, female, and specially abled on the same stage.
Wow.
Always.
That's interesting.
So the amateur championships always have been the World Arm Wrestling Championship and the World Para Arm Wrestling Championships together, which has male, female, and specially abled. So one of the first things we did when we started the league also is made it a point that every athlete, male, female, or specially able, will be paid the same amount according to their rank.
Equal pay.
Yeah, will be equal pay.
Wow.
It's one of the few
Leagues.
sports that does that.
Yeah.
So and that's when we decided, in fact, was to get into the promotion of Panja or arm wrestling.
Very interesting idea, very interesting thought as well. And when I read about it, I saw that there's another league in India slowly coming up, which has completed 2 seasons successfully. Number one, we also saw the great Khali in there. I saw one of those pictures with him as being the frontliner, brand ambassador as well. What's the format like? If there's a player who wants to get into the Pro Panja League, or if there are people who are viewing this, if they want to understand the format of this league, what does the format look like?
So it's 6 teams.
Okay.
And yes, the great Khali is one of the brand ambassadors of one of our teams,
Right.
Ludhiana
Right.
teams.
Okay.
There is a federation, it's called PAFI, the People's Armwrestling Federation India, of
Right.
which I am the president.
Right.
So all of the states under us, we also take Team India, and you have to attend our national, you have to attend your your
Okay.
district
Okay.
championship.
Right.
If you win there, you go to the state championship, and from
Right.
the state you come to our nationals.
Wow.
But there's a huge competition, let me tell you. There is, our last nationals had about 2,000 athletes participating.
Right.
This was held in Kerala,
Right.
and it's a huge influx of players now because of the popularity of the sport now.
I've seen a lot of leagues do a lot of things at the top level, but not many have found a structure. Now, what I try and understand from here is that you guys have already placed a structure in mind.
Compared to a lot of other sports in India, which are quite disorganized, arm wrestling or Panja has been quite organized, but it's
Yeah.
but we have put in a lot of effort.
Right.
It's been 2020 was when we had our first ranking tournament. That was for the league, for
Okay.
Pro Panja league.
Okay.
Very soon after that, I formed the federation, which is called
Wow.
the People's Armwrestling Federation of India. Let me tell you that arm wrestling, there was a federation that was earlier, what was there earlier, and India has been one of the founding members of arm wrestling.
Wow.
In the amateur section, in the amateur world,
Right.
and which is more than 40 years arm wrestlers have been in around in India.
Wow.
And yet when we started, or we had the idea of the league, people would ask us, क्या पंजा खेला जाता है? Professionally खेला जाता है? अच्छा, federation है? अच्छा, is it like a sport that's, and then of course the questions after that,
Yeah.
okay, it's played professionally, okay, there has been, there are athletes which have been here for 40 years, and
Right.
okay, but who's going to watch it?
Yeah.
कौन देखेगा? So these were all the things that we faced
Yeah.
when we started.
Yeah.
So it's been a long, very, very long journey. Starting from, we really had a belief in the sport, because if you watch a Panja match, it's very, very exciting.
Right.
And it's very intense. It's very intense. It's very intense. Your heartbeat goes up, and then suddenly, you get a breather.
Yeah.
So it is a very exciting sport to watch, and it is a sport that we knew will catch the fancy. We felt will catch the fancy of the nation. And I think seeing the numbers, so we didn't come to league directly.
Okay.
We've done a lot of matches all over India.
Which is a trial and
We've
error.
done from the ground up, and we've taken 2 approaches, bottom up and up down.
Okay.
Starting from when we did the one-day matches, we used to have something called as the super matches, which we did all over India. So
Okay.
we've done matches in front of the Gwalior Fort.
Okay.
It's a grade A monument.
Okay.
Twice we were denied permission there.
Oh.
In the middle of Bhopal Lake,
Wow.
on a tourist boat, on the banks of the Narmada River, in front of the Gateway of India, in front of the Radio Club, in front of the Taj Mahal.
Wow.
In a mall in Gorakhpur, we've done events almost in every state of India, in
And
Kerala.
in very beautiful locations as well.
So yes, we didn't come to league directly. We did a lot of experiments. We saw how is the sport consumed, what is the way the people like to watch the sport.
Right.
Plus, as we were doing these events, our social media was gradually increasing. We worked very, very hard, day night on the social media.
Yeah.
And as it stands today,
Yeah.
we've crossed 1.2 billion views
Yeah,
across our
I
social
just
media,
read
which is
about
more
that.
than, I mean, I'm not sure.
is great.
Yeah, I know the numbers of our sport. I'm not sure of any other sport. But we've worked very hard on it.
Yeah.
And so our social media actually took off before we even came to broadcast.
Right.
And even when we came to broadcast, there's a lot of research gone into it. Starting from, let's say, before broadcast, why is it that leagues are a losing proposition?
Right.
What is the business of leagues?
Yeah.
Why is it that most of the leagues are not reaching profitability? So what is the reason to get into a league, or what is the reason that we should do a league on arm wrestling, and how are we going to be different from the other leagues?
Correct.
How can we say to others that we will reach profitability? There was
Yeah.
a lot of research done on other leagues.
Okay.
After that, how is it that we'll bring it to broadcast? And that's where I think our 25 years of experience in the entertainment came in. We
Right.
understand the Indian audience. We know
Correct.
what they want to watch. You
Correct.
have to know your audience in the beginning. That's
Yeah.
the main thing. Plus, how do you shoot a sport?
Yeah.
Every sport cannot have the same language like
Right.
a cricket. Just
Right.
because IPL did well and is shot in that way. And everybody, and we know that there are just a few people who are shooting, who are actually doing the production and the shooting. So everything is shot the same way. Every sport has the same language.
Right.
Sports is entertainment. You can't shoot everything the same way and expect people to watch it. How will Panja be consumed? How will people watch it? We show the veins in their hands, the veins on the forehead. We show their eyes. We show their expression. We show the intensity. We show the power they're putting behind it. We let out their backstories. We train the athletes.
Wow.
How do you bring your personality out on stage? You can say that it's like a WWE style kind of
sort of entry and all that.
Sort of entry, and sort of we have all that craziness there. They're crazy. They
Music
shout at
and
each other. But what happens on the table is real.
Correct.
The sport is real.
Right.
It has its specific rules. It has a section of rules you have to follow. We go by the WARF rules, which is the World Armwrestling Federation rules.
Okay.
The league is something that we have been working on very, very hard, both the business aspect as well as the viewership aspect. We looked at it as entertainment.
Yeah.
And that is why I think we've got the numbers we did.
Yeah.
Season 1 itself had 32 million unique viewers. Sony Sports, DD Sports and Fancode. It's something that people would never have thought of.
Yeah.
Sony Sports themselves, I have to really give them credit for the support they gave us once they were on board. It took us 2 years to convince them. But once they were on board, they were all there. Even our promos, if you watch, we worked very hard on the promos.
Right.
They were really like film trailers.
Right.
And people really got fascinated and watched it. Of course, season 2 again reached 25 million homes. We had a huge reach.
Right.
I feel that our passion towards it and our vision towards it is working.
Right.
It's people are seeing it. Today, we have so many people at our national championships that we can't control it.
Right.
We were actually thinking of having 2 separate national championships.
Yeah. When we speak about like a non-cricketing sport in the country, people always have their eyebrows up. They are like, how is it going to be? Just like you mentioned, will it work? Will it, survive the long run? And with what you just mentioned, I feel you guys have worked on the back end first, the research, how to take it for the long run.
Yes.
What would you say currently is different and working for you, and something that you think will take this league forward for the next 3-4 years as well?
Well, certainly I feel that we've been managed to bring in a glamour and a quality to it without the unnecessary and extreme expense that leagues have.
Right.
I think that a certain format has been followed all this time, and a lot of unnecessary aspects have been added. So yes, you cannot compromise on the quality of the production. It has to be a huge production, yet the frills around it are just too many. I think we've managed to keep our player costs also very low.
Okay.
We've managed to keep, not very low in the sense we are giving the players as yet much more that they have seen, and they have, but of course they deserve much more, and as the league grows more, we will make sure that the players grow. We have worked on the players. We've made sure that social media increases. So a lot of the players who could only do other jobs along with arm wrestling have now switched only to arm wrestling. Their social media's numbers have increased amazingly, and we've shown them how to do different things around the sport as well.
Correct.
And at the same time, I feel a lot of money was spent traveling business class and throwing it here, throwing huge parties and things that are not important to the sport. More work needed to go into how the audience was viewing the sport.
Interesting.
How it was brought to broadcast.
Right.
And all of those things, rather than, which I felt a lot of these reasons really contributed to why businesses were, leagues were a losing proposition in terms of money.
Correct.
So I feel the way it stands right now, we will reach or at least break even by year 4.
Wow.
Which I think is pretty good. Yeah.
It is. Because I also come from a sport. I've been doing Kabaddi now for the last 3 years. I've seen the way the sport has grown and how teams speak about that. But I also wanted to come to the sponsors part of it. How has the support or do sponsors now look at it in a better way than you had approached them initially?
We're very sure. We knew that season 1 and 2 will be more of an investment, a proof of concept, so to say.
Right.
But I think season 1 did that for us.
Yeah.
We had Nikon in season 1. Nikon continued onto season 2.
Right.
And we had our first big ticket sponsor in season 2, Royal Enfield.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're super excited. Another thing that we did was not just the league.
Yeah.
We did a format of a year-long kind of visibility for the brand.
Okay.
So because we do events in every
Throughout
state,
the
and
year.
because we have a very good relationship with the federation and the league is together.
Yeah.
Because of that, we have no issues that many other leagues have faced
That's true.
with the federation.
That's true.
So plus we do events year-long events.
Right.
Even our district and state championships can be considered as promotional events.
Right.
So the brand that is associated with us kind of gets the opportunity to be have a year-long visibility.
Correct.
So Royal Enfield is super excited. Not only do they want to do the league now every year, they want to. There's so many other things and that they can do.
They
Plus,
want to be
what
part
a
of
brand,
almost every event.
Yes, and plus what a brand can do with something like Panja as opposed to something like cricket. Right now, we can't compare ourselves to cricket at all. But what a brand can do is be integrated into the sport.
That's right.
We can build around it, which is very hard to do with cricket because there are 100 brands there and
Too many.
maybe you will just...
It's more like a saturated market
yes,
right now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Royal Enfield was very, very excited with the kind of ROI they received.
Yeah.
One of our teams, the Vimal Group, also owns one of the teams
Wow.
in our league.
Right.
They own a couple of state cricket leagues as well.
Right.
And they were amazed with the kind of ROI they
Response.
got just from
Pro
Panja. In comparison to even what they got with a lot of other state cricket leagues.
Interesting.
So yes, it's things are looking up, and now around the world, the athletes want to come here because
Right.
of what is happening in India.
Right. Do you also want to
Arm
open
wrestling-
doors to the international athletes, or first you want to look at the Indian bread?
So let me come to that. Arm wrestling in general has received a huge boost around the world because of
Wow.
what's happening in India.
Wow.
We do want to bring international athletes in. But maybe we will have a separate section for them, a separate weight category, like starting with a super heavyweight category for international athletes. See, there are at least 70 countries that participate in arm wrestling. At the World Championships in Bulgaria this year, there were 70 countries.
70.
Yes, but this is a sport where India has a chance to win medals in the international circuit. For the first time, we received a sub-junior gold, a 15-year-old boy called Rajbir. The World Arm Wrestling President was sitting with us and he said, if you told me a couple of years back that with Russia, Belarus, Australia, Bulgaria, Kazakhstan participating, an Indian boy, 15-year-old boy would win the gold, I would have said it's impossible.
Yeah.
But it's possible today. It's happened. The doors have opened to a sport which anybody can enter easily. Like I said, it has a low financial entry point.
Right.
It's a huge opportunity for India to win medals. And our ultimate goal is that, to be where India has its eyes set on the 2036 Olympics.
Right.
This is a sport that I feel should be in there.
Absolutely.
From the side of India, because it's an Indian sport. It is, yes, an indigenous sport. But it's a sport that's played in countries throughout the world.
Where do you think the maximum viewership is coming from right now? Where do you think the maximum players are coming in? Is it from the north?
Kazakhstan is the number one. Acha, in India?
In
you're talking
India,
about?
yeah.
In India, oh, it's all over. We have, of course, Kerala
Wow.
is number one. Kerala
Oh.
has been number one.
Down south.
Yeah. Kerala is number one, and they have the largest number of athletes also for arm wrestling, and they have they're recognized. They're a state-recognized sport in Kerala.
Okay.
It's also recognized in Meghalaya,
Okay.
Arunachal. In a couple of states, it is recognized by the state. So the athletes, when they win, they get government jobs, maybe some cash prizes when they win medals abroad.
Right.
Kerala has the largest number of athletes, but we have athletes from Jammu, Kashmir in the league.
Wow.
Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, of course Punjab, Haryana, Assam, Gujarat.
So you've been getting like an inflow from almost every part of India.
Every
right
state.
now.
So our athletes are sons and daughters of the soil. There's a
Right.
farmer, there's a gym trainer,
Right.
there's a female cop. There are cops, of course. There
Right.
are also, we are also part of the police games and the university games now,
Right.
and also part of the para youth Asian games.
Wow.
Which is the biggest step right now, which is going to be in Dubai this year.
What I also hear from a lot of athletes is, they want a specific sport to become their profession. Would you say that Pro Panja can help them make it their profession, or would they have to have another job, like by
That's
the
how
side
it
and
was
play?
earlier, but right now it's changing. Things
Wow.
are changing. A lot of people are doing only Punjab, practicing only arm wrestling,
Right.
and they're building around it, like I said.
Correct.
So they're doing their own podcasts on arm wrestling. They have international athletes coming in.
Right.
They have their own social medias increasing.
Right.
I don't have the numbers on hand, but one of our athletes has almost 2 million YouTube followers,
Wow.
and they're getting their numbers on their own.
Right.
Our reels regularly go viral.
Hmm.
We regularly have viral reels on the Pro Panja and the PAFI
Wow.
websites.
And also because the reason I specifically had got in
Yeah.
touch with you is to bring in that women in sport aspect, right?
Yeah.
We've seen very few people who try and get into sport eventually, maybe from an acting background or maybe a sports player. Now you've become like that boss lady, right? Who sets a benchmark for people. There are a lot of people who are looking at you and trying to learn from you. What would you say to someone who wants to enter the sports sphere, who's a women in sport? Any kind of advice, any things that they need to keep in mind?
Things are changing. Arm wrestling in general was a largely governed by males,
Dominant.
male dominated. I say governed because there are female and male athletes
Right.
in quite an equal amount.
Right.
So, but for the governance of the sport, yes, it was mainly male dominated.
Right.
I just feel as a female we can bring so much more to the sport. I feel the athletes also feel easier to come and speak to you, and the issues can be looked at in a different lens. It's all, the relationship between federation and athlete has always been a very more
Touch and
hate
go.
and less love kind of relationship, and we wanted to change that.
Yeah, that's true.
We wanted to change the aspect of federations making money off athletes, and rather look at different aspects such as events and other things and sponsorships and CSR activities that a federation can do.
Right.
And the athletes should benefit more.
Correct.
The rights of the athletes. So we've made sure that we have everything by the book, whether it's having a women's commission or whether it's having an athletes commission. Drug testing, we've taken that very, very seriously. We've brought NADA into the league also from the beginning.
From the very first.
Yes, NADA had a very, in the first season, NADA had a very good kind of conference for our athletes,
Right.
a session. In our Asian Championship, we had the official drug testing. The first time we had the official drug testing.
Okay.
So we've now brought international competitions as well, and a major part of that is drug testing, which we have to make sure that the athletes are tested and the
Right.
drug testing is done,
Yeah.
officially. Because our World Federation is also affiliated with WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping
That's correct.
Agency. We had the official Asian Cup in Mumbai in 2024.
Okay.
And this year we had the official Asian Arm Wrestling and Para Arm Wrestling Championship in Delhi,
Right.
and which of course was attended by Mr. Sunil Shetty,
Right.
who is also
I
a
saw.
partner in the league.
Right. Do you also think that a lot of influential people getting together, being part of the sport would help grow the sport even more?
See, we didn't look at it like that from the beginning. We didn't. Otherwise, we could have had a star face for every team, which is
Exactly.
what everybody is doing. Our idea from the beginning has been to make the athlete the star, because we are very sure that unless the athlete is the star, the people are not going to watch the sport.
Right.
You might put on the TV to watch a performance by a famous actress because she's doing the opening, and you might put on the TV to watch there's a famous actor there who owns the team,
Right.
but you will not watch the sport regularly. I don't think the league would have got the numbers if we just had a celebrity face attached. And a lot of sports are just doing that, just having celebrities attached to the league. That is
Yeah.
why even if you see our sport, it's not us that we're promoting, and that's not the reason we got into this sport, to do self-promotion. We would have made a couple more films with us in the league if that's what we wanted to do. So the idea of doing Panja is growing the sport to bring
Yeah.
making a difference to a community of athletes
Yeah.
who otherwise would have nobody to grow them. And by coming into Panja, we've come into a sport by which us coming in would make a difference.
Right.
Every other sport already has a lot of support and a lot of people in it.
Right.
So the whole idea of getting into Panja was to come into a sport by which us coming in makes a difference, and B, to make the athlete the star, which is what we are trying to do.
Yeah, there's this cliche line that people use, right? Sport and entertainment walk hand in hand.
Yes, sports is entertainment, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
looked at it like that. We
Yeah.
have to look at it like that.
Yeah.
If the sport does not get the eyeballs,
Yeah.
you're not going to get the sponsors, you're not getting. So that's what we have to look at, which is the
Correct.
sport that has the numbers.
I was just trying to do my research right before we got here, and I saw the numbers, I saw the fanfare that it's getting, and it was incredible to see
Yeah.
that it's happening, in so much less time. But now that we also realize that there's a lot of back end that's gone into it, like years of research,
Yes.
planning and plotting, and that's the reason you've been able to do this in the very first season, maybe the second season as well. As you guys progress ahead, what does the business side of it look like? Are you guys going to look like you already mentioned in the first 2 to 3 years? Maybe you're not going to look at the numbers straight up, but when do you think you'll be able to see like a turnaround in terms of maybe profit or anything
Yeah,
of that sort?
at the beginning of the interview, I did tell you that from season 4
Yeah.
we should break even. So a lot of talks going on right now. A lot of
Right.
big ticket sponsors.
Right.
Besides Royal Enfield as well, that we are speaking to already.
Right.
Before we just completed season 2.
Right.
So things are looking up.
So whole and soul, we can say that it's going on the right track, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of people who understand the value of it and are still joining on board with you guys.
Yes.
Also want to take it a notch higher and check with you, if there's someone who's watching you right now. I'm sure a lot of people are inspired by the work you guys are doing, by the work you're doing specifically. If they wanted to start a league like this, what are the few baby steps that they need to keep in mind?
Get out of the trap that it's the glamour trap
That's
that
true.
one wants to associate with the league. It's a lot of hard work. It's giving up your entire life for the sport. I think our DNA has changed from the time we started. The league itself is taken a lot out of us, not just in terms of investment, but monetary investment, but also in terms of research, teamwork, late nights. I think if anybody wants to get into the business or start a sporting league, I would say get ready for the work. It
Yeah.
ain't no bed of roses. It's very hard work, hours of research, and at the end of the day, you are responsible.
Yeah.
And if you do take up a sport, you are responsible for the athletes, you're responsible for their upkeep, for their well-being. They depend on you. The team owners depend on you. In the first season, we had to handhold all the team owners because nobody knew the players. They didn't know what the sport was about. And we
Right.
did everything for the teams, down to booking the hotels. And we looked into everything ourselves.
Wow.
Everything, each and every aspect, so that there's nothing that can go wrong or there's no complaints from any end. We invited personally the top guys from everywhere, whether it was Kiran Rijiju or Rajavendra Rathod or Mr. Rajiv Shukla, or Mr. Sunil Shetty, Ms. Deepa Malik.
Right.
We made sure that there was no stone unturned.
Unturned, yeah.
And like I've already spoken about the research that we did
Yeah.
into leagues and how the production goes overboard unnecessarily because there are parties every night
Yeah.
and everyone is traveling,
So you
in
wanna try and
styles.
scram
so
those
you
things
got
out.
to,
Yeah.
because those are not what make a difference to the viewership or to the sport or to the athlete.
Absolutely.
Those are just aspects that are spending money that is not belong to the sport.
Right. Right.
But yeah, these things were happening, and yes, those things can happen when your league becomes a cricket or a kabaddi.
Yeah, makes sense. And if you had to, compare acting and with where you are right now in terms of the sporting world, which of the two, has always...
See, I started acting when I was 16, 17.
Wow,
I was
that
very
young.
young when I started. And I thought
How old were you when you did Mohabbatein?
Mohabbatein was 19.
19.
Yeah.
And that was your first break in
So
Bollywood.
in Bollywood, yes,
Yeah.
that was my first Hindi movie. But I had already done a couple of South films before that. I did 2 Telugu films before that, 1 Tamil film, 1 Malayalam film. So yeah, about 4 films before that. Plus I had done a huge amount of ads, more than 50, 60 ads.
Yeah.
Couple of music videos, quite a lot of work before
Yeah.
Mohabbatein. By then I was already working full time, so I thought I worked very hard. And I remember living out of suitcases from the age of, I don't know, 19 to 20, 28. I was just living out of suitcases.
Right.
I switching between South, Hindi, Punjabi, Telugu.
So how many languages can you speak now?
No, I can't speak all those languages. It was just lip syncing and a lot of cheating.
Right.
But, so I felt I worked very hard there. From an actor to a producer, we produced a film. And then to this, I think this is the hardest.
Because it's very interesting also to see like a career journey, right? Like I'm very fascinated with people who get into the sports field, because I'm someone who has come from the sports field, and just to understand that you've taken the strides, and something that I'm trying to understand here is when you guys say you're trying to keep the glam away. I think I haven't seen this aspect with any other sporting, you can say sporting league, sporting sphere, and I think that is very important as well, because there have been a lot of leagues who've come into the scene but haven't been able to survive because of that mini aspect of it, as to how much do you have, what's the run rate like, and can you be like a pillar to survive for the long run. And with a proper plan, I think you can go the distance as well, which we can see with the Pro Panja league already.
So we haven't taken the glam away.
Yeah, which is you yourself are there in it.
We put the glam into, no, I'm not talking about myself, but we put the glam into the sport.
Right, makes sense.
And not in the periphery outside the sport. We've definitely put, so if you look at it, the way we shoot it and all, we wanted it to have a lot of sex appeal, very glamorous, very, audiences should watch it. It's entertainment.
Fair.
They should want to watch it. So we put a lot of effort into the production and everything. If you watch it, we are known as we are known as the world's largest production in arm wrestling right now.
I also read somewhere, I think I saw you said in an interview where you want, Indian athletes to get a gold medal at the Olympics. That's a dream?
When the sport gets into the Olympics, India has a major chance of getting gold medals.
Yeah.
It's a fact. We've seen it at the international competitions.
What's your goal with this league like? Where do you see it?
Definitely, I want to see it reach season 10. I want to see that season 10.
A decade.
At least a decade. I want to see the sport grow. The aim is, yes, to get national recognition by the next year, hopefully.
Right.
And then to aim for the Olympics, maybe the Asian Games and then the Olympics.
Is there anyone else who you've looked up to, who gives you inspiration? I'm just trying to get behind, trying to understand who Preeti really is. For all our, people who've been watching you, knowing you, we just want to understand who are you as a person. Who do you adore? Who do you look up to? Who gives you motivation in life?
Different people at different times. I can't say right now, but if you would have asked me when I was in acting, which is the actor or the actress you look up to, then at that time I used to say Sri Devi, because it was amazing how she could do so many different things.
Right.
But as an inspiration in the sporting field, it's a tough question, because different people have achieved different things and managed to do quite a lot.
Right.
Or Sunil Gavaskar, who has dedicated his life to the sport and still managed to be in it and still promoting it and still reinventing himself in different ways, whether it's as a commentator or in different ways, still doing so many things, writing books. So yes, I feel him.
Yeah.
Somebody like him as an athlete, for sure.
Okay.
Female athletes, there are so many. I mean, we have inspirations right in Pro Panja League as well. There are housewives from Haryana who were not even allowed to step out of their house. In fact, one of them was her husband was completely against her. He said you'll spoil my wife and all of that. But one of our other athletes, who's also from Haryana, convinced him, let her come. So she came for the league and she started winning matches.
Wow.
He put a television screen in his village.
That's so sweet.
For the whole Gaon to come and watch this.
Do you also think it would be a great idea to package all of this in form of a docu-series?
Yes, there is a lot of, there's a lot of things we're working around, Panja. Like I said, we are making it profitable for the sponsor or the person who joins as an investor, either ways, to not have to just do the league, because that's not, you just come one time for 10-15 days in the year and then you disappear for the rest of it. That doesn't work for anybody really.
Correct.
So for an all-round viewership, you have the events, you have something along the lines of a reality TV show, which talks about their lives, puts them together, see how they actually survive if they're living together, or actually tells their stories or tells their lives.
Right.
And or like you said, a docu-series,
Right.
a film on
Yeah.
Panja.
Yeah.
Because we are from all of these
Yeah.
backgrounds, this is how we feel that the sport can have an overall popularity and help everybody associated with the sport as well. So there's a lot of talk. All of this that you're talking about has already been discussed and
plans.
put into motion.
Absolutely. Any best advice that you've ever been given, or any best advice that you would want to give someone?
Never give up. So there's many a times that being in sport breaks you, and you feel you can't go on ahead. And then suddenly you realize, I don't know how it happened, but I did it. It happened like at season 1. You said, I don't think it, but it happened. We could do it again.
Yeah.
And similarly, like we're also starting trials now for statewide trials for season 3. So let's see.
There are a lot of Gen Z and millennials also today, right? Who follow sport in different way. Some want to follow sport because it's pop culture. You just want to be part of the fad. If it's there, it's in there. You want to be part of the fashion of sorts. And then there are a few who just want to follow the sport because there's someone else, who's told them about it. How do you place Pro Panja there? Would you say that you would want to place it eventually as a pop culture sport, or would you want it to be a sport that is, running through, everyone?
I feel it is a sport that everybody can watch. It is a sport that we had kitty party ladies also coming.
Wow.
Who came again and again because they enjoyed it so much.
Interesting.
So we really feel it's a sport that can break barriers.
Yeah.
Kids watch it, women watch it, men watch it,
And there's
older
no age
people watch
at
it.
all.
There's no age barrier. It's just a weight category.
Right.
It's a weight. In fact, in our like I said, in our amateur tournaments, we have junior, sub-junior to masters and grandmaster categories.
Right.
I feel it's a sport that can break barriers, including be popular with the pop culture audience.
Is there any go-to line in life that you have? Anything that resonates with you, any song or anything of that sort?
Yes, there is a line that I always live by, which is live and let live. Because in today's time, I think there's, we are too intolerant of each other's beliefs and faiths. And just seeing a war in today's day and age is something I thought I would never see. So live and let live is something I definitely think. And go for your dreams.
Right.
Whatever your dreams, don't let anybody tell you that you can't go for them. Go for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have to say, when I invited you on the podcast, I wasn't sure what I was in for, but I had to take my chance, and I was very intrigued and interested to understand as to how the Pro Panja League is doing what it's doing, and to be able to understand the kind of groundwork, the kind of research that you guys have done, the kind of very set plans that you have, and you're very clear as to where this is going and what you want to do around it, which is highly commendable. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are drawing inspiration from that.
I hope so.
And I hope to even see those ideas of maybe like a movie or maybe like a docu-series someday come out, which I would love to watch.
That's where everything's going to come true.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
happen.
much for being here, and appreciate your time.
You.
Thank you, Preeti.